Well, good evening, community. I'm your co host, Mark Scott. You are tuning in to another episode of Both Sides of the Conversation, and it is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. So, you know what that means. We have another phenomenal edition of an Educational Thursday. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about financial education and how to have a tax free retirement. And we're going to be joined with an amazing guest. But before we get to our guest, I do want to shout out the Bishop John Henry, who is traveling out in the community at this time, and also the queen of the platform, Miss Io White. I want to send all of our prayers and support out to her as well. And while we do have a lot of information, I don't want to belabor it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and jump into the news, and then we will get to the community events. And in our world news, our first headline reads, Clarence Thomas attacks Brown versus the board ruling amid its 70th anniversary. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas critiqued the Brown versus the Board of Education ruling during its 70th anniversary, claiming it exceeded its authority by ending racial segregation in schools. He expressed his view while supporting a South Carolina congressional map accused of discriminating against Black voters, arguing that federal courts shouldn't have broad powers to create remedies as historically used in segregation cases. Thomas's opinion underscores his long-held belief in limited government and judicial restraint. And also in local news, a woman dies after walking into a San Francisco hospital with gunshot wounds. Police are investigating. In San Francisco, a woman died after self-admitting to a hospital with gunshot wounds. The incident, which occurred in the Tarval district, is being investigated by the San Francisco Police Department as a homicide. Despite medical efforts, she did succumb to her injuries. No arrests have been made related to this incident, and the police are seeking information from the public. And in state news, Newsom has been blasted for cutting acupuncture in the state budget. California's budget proposal removes acupuncture from Medi-Cal, affecting low-income individuals and San Francisco's Chinese American community. Advocates critique the cut, highlighting the community's dependence on acupuncture and the minimal savings of the $5.4 million compared to potential higher costs from alternative treatments. Supporters are pushing lawmakers to reinstate this crucial service to alleviate pain and financial burden. And our final headline, eating ultra-processed foods linked to stroke and cognitive decline, a study suggests. A recent study has found that consuming ultra-processed foods increase the risk of stroke and cognitive decline. By tracking over 30,000 adults, researchers noted a 16% higher risk of cognitive issues and an 8% increased risk of stroke, with a 10% rise in ultra-processed food intake. The impact is especially significant in Black individuals who face a 15% increased stroke risk. And that'll do it for the headlines. Let's go ahead and move into our community events, because we do have a lot going on in the community and want to make sure that you can be connected. Our first event, Dreamkeeper Initiative Community Office Hours, May 30th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 25 Van Ness Avenue in Suite 8 there in San Francisco. Come out and get answers to your Dreamkeeper Initiative questions without an appointment. And also, Dreamkeeper Initiative has community office hours on May 30th from 1 to 3 p.m. at 1050 McAllister in San Francisco. And also, the Dreamkeeper Initiative community office hours will be in the Bayview area on May 31st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 1550 Evans Avenue there in San Francisco. And our Juneteenth pageant, where you can come out and celebrate creativity on May 31st. Visit the link below to get more information and details. And also Juneteenth on the waterfront, where you can enjoy a day of Black-made products, art, and food on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. For more details, see the link below. And also the Family Day Festival, where you can come out and gather for a fun-filled day on June 2nd from 11:25 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more details, see the link below. And California artists, apply for the 2024 State Arts Grants. Opportunities are open until June 6th. To get more details, see the link below. And also, you can join the Black Bike Project, where it'll empower youth with skills on how to repair bikes for ages 11 to 14. And it ends on June 6th. It's from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. at 601 Cesar Chavez in San Francisco. To get more information, see the email below, and also know that the kids do get to keep the bike after the program. And also, San Francisco Juneteenth Parade. Come out and join the vibrant parade on June 8th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. down Market Street. For more details on this event or to register, see the link below. Also, Mayor London Breed's official Juneteenth kickoff. Kickoff with the celebration on June 14th from 12 to 2 p.m. If you want more details on that event, see the link below. And the SF Black Wall Street Gala. Experience an evening of elegance on June 14th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. For more details on this event, also see the link below. And the Juneteenth Festival in the Fillmore, where you can dive into cultural festivities on June 15th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more details, see the link below. And the San Francisco Bayview Juneteenth and Father's Day Festival at Gilman Park. Join us on June 16th from 12 to 6 p.m. for music, food, rides, and more. To RSVP or get more information, see the link below. And join B Magic's Back to School Celebration and Backpack Giveaway on August the 3rd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 1050 McAllister Street in San Francisco. For more details, see the link below. Also, join MoMagic's second Backpack to School Celebration and Backpack Giveaway on August the 10th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 155 Jennings Street. For more details on that, also see the link below. And the Brown Bombers' 25th year. Register for youth football and cheerleading. It starts for the 2024 season. There's a $150 fee, which includes the gear. To get more details, see the link below. And 2024 summer opportunities. There are programs and camps for kids kindergarten through 8th grade, with over 160 options for learning, engagement, safety, and health. Register for fall school. Click below for details. And the Dreamkeeper Initiative's Kids Summer Camp at the Prince Hall Computer Learning Center for grades kindergarten through 8th. The admission is free. It'll be from June 10th to August the 2nd. For more information, see the phone number below on the screen. And the SOA City is Mine Tech and Sports Camp from April 2nd all the way through November the 26th. Being held at various times and various locations, covering ages 7 to 16. For more details, see the link below on your screen. And Kids in the City presents Hair 101 Workshop on Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Chase Center for youth ages 7 to 17, where you can come out and learn about unique hair. The supplies will be provided. Registration information is below. And join the SECC at Hungry Cafe from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. for co-working eatery and social space at the Southeast Community Center. And the University of San Francisco's new Community Counseling and Wellness Center provides 12 weeks of free therapy for San Francisco residents over 18 that are facing barriers to care. If You want more information? Email the link below. And the Dreamkeeper Initiative's Senior Home Repair Program offers up to $50,000 forgivable loan to low to moderate income seniors and or disabled homeowners that are in distressed San Francisco neighborhoods. To get more information, see the link below. And the San Francisco Human Rights Commission holds regular bi-monthly meetings on the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 5 p.m. at the San Francisco City Hall Room 416. You can attend in person or via Zoom. And Fathers to Founders with child support clinics every Tuesday and Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 232 6th Street in San Francisco. You can come get guidance on child support debt, license holds, custody, and visitation rights. For more information or to make an appointment, call the phone number below on your screen. And the Dreamkeeper Initiative's Down Payment Assistance Loan Program offers up to $500,000 for a down payment assistance and up to $30,000 for closing costs. You can get connected with housing counselors, lenders, and realtors. For more details, see the link below. And the Walters Wellness Group hosts Sip, Paint, and Center every first, third, and fifth Friday. Come unwind and set the tone for your weekend. Be fueled by tea, creativity, and grounding. Hosted by Dr. Kathia Walters and team. For more details, see the link below. And join Fathers to Founders for Fatherhood Reimagined Therapy group sessions every Tuesday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Food is provided. For more details and to RSVP, see the phone number below. And APRI hosts youth workshops where there will be job referrals, resume building, skill building, internships, networking, and community service hours. To get more details, see the phone number below. And Fillmore's Friday Night Market every Friday from 4 to 9 p.m. on O'Farrell Street between Fillmore and Steiner. Come out for live music, food, vendors, dominoes, prizes, and fun. Vendor booths are still available. For more information, see the link below. And the vaccination site is still offering the COVID-19 boosters and monkeypox antiviral pill treatments. To see the times and locations below for more details. And visit the community living room for free breakfast and grab-and-go lunch Monday through Friday at the City of Hope Cafe. For more details, see link below. And visit the San Francisco Office of Financial Empowerment for free, confidential, one-on-one smart money coaching. Get financial guidance in English or in Spanish, and it's available to anyone who's living or working in San Francisco. For more details, see the link below. And be a mentor in San Francisco United School District's Mentoring for Success. You can sign up to volunteer as an individual or group mentor. District-wide, make an impact. Sign up below. And join our show to promote your business, nonprofit, or community impact on our hidden gems. Or come and share your expertise on an educational Thursday or be a panelist on one of our Sunday conversations. For more details, see the link below. And keep up with both sides of the conversation's latest shows and community outreach events. You can follow us on all social media platforms. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter at bsotc.org. And both sides of the conversation welcomes volunteers to join our mission to uplift and support the community. Make a positive impact. Become a volunteer today. Email us at hr@bsotc.org. And also, both sides of the conversation invites your support for our podcast and our community engagement. Your generous contributions will greatly aid us in enhancing our programming. And also, we would like to acknowledge the Dreamkeeper Initiative, and its support of both sides of the conversations programming and San Francisco's diverse Black communities. To learn more, see the link below. And that'll do it for our community events. We want to remind you that there will not be a Sunday conversation this week for the Memorial Day weekend. And also, we are still seeking guests for our Tuesday night hidden gems. Now that we've gotten all of the news and all of the announcements, we're going to go ahead and get ready to introduce our guest. Mr. Salahudin Akbar was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, raised in Los Angeles, California, and he has over 20 years in healthcare. He has focused on mental illness, substance abuse, incarceration, homeless, and worked with senior ex-offenders. His studies at UC Berkeley covered medical and psychological foundations for chemical dependency. And as an instructor, Mr. Salahudin Akbar prepared students for certification in California. He's married to a wonderful lady, and he shifted from healthcare to wealth care. Driven by his passion for helping people, he has held a financial professional license for the past 5 years, and he is dedicated to aiding families in comprehending the intricacies of money management and how it works. So, with no further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring Mr. Salahudin Akbar to the platform.
Can you hear me?
Brother,
See me?
how are you doing?
Man, fantastic, brother. Thank you, man. For those when you make those announcements, I think of the impact that you all are having on the community in so many different ways. And I'm just proud of you guys and what you guys are doing. And when I heard about both sides of the conversation, and I kept telling myself, I need to be in that discussion. All right. And I thought about this for a while, but I never did try to access it. And so when I did that, I found out it wasn't as difficult a process as I thought it would be, like, having lunch and dinner with Barack and Michelle, right?
We definitely try to make it as accessible for everybody in the community because we are here for the people in the community. And thanks to the vision of Bishop John Henry, we make it as easy as possible. And we thank you, brother, once again for gracing us with your presence. And I know that you have a wealth of information that you want to share. So with no further ado, I will turn the platform over to you to educate the community this evening.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, brother Mark.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm so grateful and honored to be here. I just want you guys to know I don't take this lightly at all. And that's my lovely wife, that beautiful lady that you guys see there. And so we're going to get to this. Are you ready to put your money to work for you? So we're going to talk a little bit about some information that hasn't been given to working people. Now, I want you guys to be thinking as we're going through this PowerPoint and having this discussion. Just be thinking about this. Every institution that's set up is designed to somehow extract from working people their money. Now, just think about that. As we're going through this, just be thinking about all the different institutions that are in place. And they have a carrot to attract us with, in allowing us access to money, but it comes at a price. And that price that we have to pay to access that money is really how we get in trouble in our later years, because there's a thing called debt. And it doesn't go away unless you do something to eliminate it. And so we're talking about exploring tax-free retirement options. And it's simple read. If you currently use traditional company offered deferred plans, there are other options. A private pension utilizing IRS code 7702 may lead to a much richer retirement. And we're going to go through some reasons why that's possible for that to happen for you. And so when we look at all the tax deferred accounts, we know they're in the stock market, right? First, they're in the stock market. But when they talk about deferring our taxes, it's like postponing a debt, postponing a bill. You can postpone it, but it's still there and it's going up. And we know that when we look at the debt clock, and 24 hours a day is ticking, it's going up and up and up. Trillions of dollars that this country is in debt. And who pays for that? Well, it's working people. And so when we defer taxes on our job from age 30, and then we age 65, that area where people want to look to retire, then taxes now are going to be increased first because our money probably has increased, the amount that we have been contributing to the plan. And sometimes we also getting a match from our company up to a percentage. So the amount of money has increased. That means what? Well, the amount of taxes has also increased. And so that's a problem. But when we look at this, right, we're talking about all retirement accounts, 401ks, right, simple employment plans, IRAs, TSPs, thrift savings plans. They all operate under the same rules. All of them operate under the same rules. And they got a lot of fees that comes with them, and they all have penalties when you try to access them before a period of time. On the other side, we're talking about the IRS code. It's been around since 1913, 7702. You can look it up. And it allows you access to your money tax-free. Unlimited contributions. This after-tax dollars, that mean you pay taxes on the seed. And everything in the harvest, it belongs to you. Now, that is a powerful statement. Everything in the harvest belongs to you, because it's not the reality with these deferred comps, right? They haven't paid taxes on the seed. So everything in the harvest now is going to be regulated by Uncle Sam. And you don't know how much he's going to take from your account, because we don't know what taxes are going to be in the future. We know this. They're not going to be lower because of the debt increasing on a daily basis. So it's limited about how much you can put into these accounts. Used to be for a lot of years, you can only put in like $16,000, $16,500. But they changed that rule, and they're allowing now more access where you can put in more money. So as of 2024, you can put in up to $23,000 a year. Now I know that's out of range for a lot of people, but when you think about limiting the amount of money that you can put into a plan that's designed for you to live off in retirement, it should be unlimited. Well, it is unlimited when you go on the other side, and you're talking about unlimited contributions after tax dollars, right? The growth in the earnings or tax deferred withdrawals are 100% tax free under the 7702 code. On the other hand, with the traditional retirement accounts, your earnings and growth are tax deferred, but withdrawals are 100% taxable. And that's income tax. So, it's like, hey, you won't pay the piper. And so we increase and often limited market risks. Your principal can be lost. Think about that concept. You're putting money in a 401k, you're putting money in a TSP or a simple employment plan or whatever it might be called. You're putting money in there to retire off of. Money that you're putting in there is designed for you, supposedly, to be able to live off that money until you pass away. And the hope would be you'd have some left over to transfer to your spouse or your children or your heirs, whoever you want to transfer it to. But that's highly unlikely. You see, because they imposed that 4% rule. The 4% rule is designed for you not to run out of money for at least 25 years after retirement. So when you think about that, if you had $1 million and they applied the 4% rule, you would be having access to $40,000 a year. That's not a lot of money to live off in this day and time. So think about 15 years from now, you living off of so people think they got $1 million in their retirement account, they're going to be set. But when you start thinking about how your money now is not going to grow, it's not going to grow, but you're pulling money out. So at the 4% rule, it is designed to last you 25 years at $40,000. What if you had an unfortunate event that caused you now to have to use more of that money? Well, you're going to have less time to use that money because you have depleted more than the rule allowed you to, 4% rule. So just think about it. The 7702 rule won't allow you to lose any money in the market. Why? Because it's under an index strategy where you're guaranteed not to lose your principal. You're guaranteed not to lose the growth on your money. So when you think about that, right? And what if there was a time where you wanted out of that process? You decided you wanted out, because you saw that it wasn't serving you well and you had a better option. You wanted your money out of there. You think you can go and say to them, hey, listen, I want to take all my money out and I'm going to close this account out. Well, there's a 59.5 rule. They're going to penalize you, and then you're going to pay taxes. And no telling what you're going to be left with is going to be determined about how much was actually there. Where on the other side, the 7702 rule, you have access to your money at any time without penalties, right? You can borrow your money at any time without penalties. So there is no reason that you would have to give to somebody to access your money. Why? Because it's yours. Now, on the other hand, they have rules set up with the traditional retirement accounts. Your name is on it, but somebody else controls it. So who does it really belong to? That's a question that you want to just think about, because ordinarily when I started a conversation with people about their retirement account, I asked the question, on a scale of 1 to 10, how knowledgeable you are about the workings of your retirement account. Rarely do people go over 5. People say, well, I contribute this, my company matched me, right? And they say they contribute a percentage. I say, in a dollar amount, how much is that? Rarely can I get a straight answer. And when you think about it like that, I understand, because this information is not being taught regularly about in the educational system. It's not being taught regularly about in the employment arena and whatever arena you go to. That's why we're on the crusade to make sure that hardworking Americans are thoroughly aware of everything that they work for should be working for them. And under the traditional standards, it's not. It's working for somebody else, because they charging a lot of fees for these accounts that are supposed to be yours. When I left my job, well, before I left my job, I went and had a conversation about, the company that was managing the account, Fidelity, and the money that they was charging me. And I asked the HR, I said, how did they get involved with my account? You said you was setting this up for me. Yeah, but we work with, we outsource the account to these people that know what they're doing. I said, but I didn't hire them. If I didn't hire them, why I got to pay them? You hired them. Why aren't you paying them? Well, that came a whole nother conversation. HR, they didn't want to hear it. And so I was more or less dismissed from the office, indirectly. But the idea about it is that these conversations are not comfortable for people to talk to us about. Why? Because it's not in their best interest to have these type of discussions with employees, because now you can shift from where you are to where you want to go and make it happen with your contributions. So we got another slide. If you can present that for me, please. And so now, can you retire with the 401k? Well, of course you can. You can retire with a 401k. You can retire with the traditional retirement accounts. But the problem is, for how long? That becomes an issue. And the issue now is plaguing America, because millions of Americans. And so, millions don't sound like as much as it used to be. But millions of Americans are a lot of Americans. And they are the people now who are suffering severely when they retire off a job, right? They got to go back to work. So, you wonder sometimes, why would you leave a job and then go get another job that's paying you less money? Well, they didn't know when they retired off the job. They wasn't educated about everything about their retirement account. They're talking about the 4% rule, lifetime guarantee retirement. But what is the 4% rule? Well, at $1 million, it's $40,000. At $500,000, it's $20,000. Can you live off $20,000 a year? That's the 4% rule. Actually, they have reduced the 4% rule because people are not having enough money in their account to make sense. But think about it like this, right? We're going to get to it in a minute, but there's another rule, right? And so It is, now just think about this point, right? Taxes, 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 taxes. What about tax-free? Let that ring for a while. Tax-free, right? We got tax-free death benefit on one side, and then the traditional plans, they're heavily taxed even upon death. You mean I'm not through after I pass away paying taxes? Well, you know that your heirs can inherit your tax debt. Right? It can also trigger an impact on your Social Security. You know, it depends on how much money you're dealing with because, right, it becomes an asset. And so now people think they're going to be in a lower tax bracket when they get ready to retire. It's not proven to be true. People are taxed at a higher tax bracket in most cases. The only way you're going to be at a lower tax bracket is that you have no money. That's it. Now, if you were living off $20,000 annually, you know, by that 4% rule, yeah, you've been in a lower tax bracket. But people don't stay there. You can't live off that. You got to go get a job. And another problem with going to get a job, some people are not able to do that. They was waiting to get retirement because their back has been killing them for ages. And so everybody has been duped in believing that retirement has something to do with your age. Retirement, according to that theory, has something to do with the access to your money. Social Security, right? The 59 and a half rule. So all of that's beyond 59 and a half. So people naturally think retirement somehow is there too. But I remember years ago when people actually had pensions, you retired 55. My brother-in-law retired when he was 54. And he got a full pension. My sister still get his pension. But the idea about it is those type of retirement accounts have been long gone. Right? Now think about it like this. The 4% rule has been reduced to 3% to make sure that people don't run out of money. But the IRS still imposes a required minimum distribution at age 72. I think it went up to age 73 now. It used to be 70 and a half. And so now, then it went up to 72. Now it's at 73. Retirement age has gone up. And so what's going on? Well, the government want to get as much taxes as possible from your money, from our money. And just think, they have reduced the 4% rule to 3%. But they didn't change this required minimum distribution, says that you must, at this particular age, 73, take from your account 4% of your account value. Now, if you've been taking out 3%, and the government said you got to take out 4%, the 3% was designed to ensure that your money would last you through the duration of your life. But now the government steps in and say, well, you didn't take out the 4%, so we're going to impose this penalty if you don't begin doing that. The first year, they're going to get you anyway. Why? Because you haven't done it, if you don't know about that rule. And so now they're going to take half of that 4% that you didn't take out of your account. So just think about that. What is half of $1 million? I mean, what is 4% of $1 million? $40,000. So if you didn't take out that 4%, the government stepped right in and take $20,000 out of your money. And, you know, you can't argue with the federal government. You can't argue with the IRS. Once they take your money, it's done. They're not giving it back. So there is no required distribution, minimum distribution on the other side. Why? Because it's your account. You control it. 7702. That's an IRS code. Look it up. And what I was talking about earlier, there's no negative returns on your money, but you can lose your money on the other side in the traditional retirement accounts. So I just want you to know, right? There is no negative returns, guaranteed returns for upside protection, and market type index link returns for downside potentials. You're never going to lose. You're always going to gain. So if you're never going to lose and always going to gain, the chances are that you're going to be in a favorable position. Can I have the next slide, please? And so now, this is some information that I want you guys to research, right? Forbes magazine, what did they say? They say 401k crisis, right? What does CNBC say? Said for millions of Americans, 401k plans have fallen short. Well, actually, folks, in 2008, did they fall short? There's a 60-minute clip. You guys can just type in 401k fallout 60 minutes, and it's going to show you a news clip of all the people who suffered as a result of the stock market, lost their job, lost their homes, lost everything. Their retirement account almost depleted. They were in a bad situation. And we just want you to understand that there is an option that you can prevent any of that from ever happening to you. Right. And so I just wanted to pull this clip up just to give you guys some insight. I didn't make this up. I just didn't come here to have a casual conversation. This is a critical issue that is plaguing the nation. People are working hard to take care of their families. People are working hard to try to get ahead in life. And all the while that they're working and generating an income, what's going on with the money? Well, it's going to somebody else's benefit. And ultimately, all we are is able to make sure our family got food and shelter and clothing and maybe have some recreational time in the form of a vacation. But if anything interrupted our ability to bring home that paycheck, the whole clan was in trouble. And this is the information that we want to get out so people will understand how vitally important it is for you protecting your family, the people that you work so hard for, the people that you value so much. And outside information, this is thinking outside of the box, because I know, right, we got people in PhDs, 3 or 4 master's degrees. You got all these degrees. We have been taught to get these degrees in hopes that it's going to get us more money. But does that really happen? Well, in most cases, it don't. Some cases it will. Of course, you got to go to school to be a doctor. I understand that. You got to have your credentials in place to be a doctor. I understand that. I used to work in mental health. But the idea about it is some of these other required positions to have a degree. Why? And I'm not knocking having a degree. I'm not knocking education. I'm saying this. They start us off in debt from our college education. We can change that by having money working for you and having money in a position now where your children now are being set up. So in the future, they don't come into their adult life challenged, their decisions being challenged because of finances. Now just think about that. You starting your life off as a young adult, and your major challenge now is financing a lifestyle that you would like to have. And you have limited information on how to get there because you're just starting off. And the only reference that you have is what you got out of the educational system, high school. Now you're going into college from your parents, you see. And I don't know, maybe your parents weren't the best teachers when it came to finances. They may have been a great teacher when it came to values and morals. But when it comes to finance, we got to go to a financial professional and get some information that's going to help us ensure that our money works for us and not somebody else. Can I have the next slide, please? Now, look at this. We got options and opportunities. We got taxable and tax-free. Now, I'm just putting out a general question. Which would you rather have? A taxable account or a tax-free account? I hear you. Of course, tax-free. It's a no-brainer. The historical rates on those traditional retirement accounts is 3 to 5%. On the other side is 7 to 9%. But listen to this part. The yearly fees on the traditional retirement accounts are 3 to 5%. If you're lucky, because they got hidden fees that you'll never know about until you start wondering what's happening with your money disappearing. Well, you've been charged fees that you weren't informed about. Look at that 60-minute video, 401k. and you'll see the value of what I'm telling you now. On the other hand, you can purchase a private pension plan and enjoy compounding growth, not compounding fees. Now, in a previous presentation, I shared with you all about the 3 rules of money. How the first rule allows you to earn interest on your money. The second rule allows your money to be protected so you're never losing it. And the third rule is what we're talking about now, how you can access your money tax-free. This is vital information. You know, this is the blood of money. This is the vein. This is the heartbeat of money. Those 3 rules that I share with you all, the heartbeat. Because if your money is not working for you, by default, it's working for somebody. If your money is sitting in the bank is making money off of your money, and they're giving you no interest. And if you get a CD account, they're gonna give you what? I had one set up. I think I had a 3-year account, and I had some issues within that 3-year period. Man, they penalized me heavily. They penalized me big time for trying to take money out early. Well, we help families put their money in places where they got total access to it. We want to be rational and sensible about what we're doing with our money. So it should work for me. It should work for you. I shouldn't go to work and put my money in the hands of somebody now that's going to take my money and make a lot of money off of it and give me nothing at all. And then they loan money to me and give me a high interest rate. So we want to get on the other side of that. Can you imagine everybody this time of year is looking for their tax return? What does that mean? Just you got to qualify to get your taxes, your money back from the government. They take your money up front, and you got to qualify to prove that you did a certain thing so you can get a certain amount of your money back. And if you do get a few $1,000s back, you know what that means? It doesn't come with interest. Try not to pay the federal government and see what they charge. They charge you interest and they penalize you. Well, it seems like our money should work for us in the same capacity. Why don't we get the benefit of our money as other people are getting the benefit of our money? How do you take my money for a whole year and use it in whatever capacity you want? I got to qualify to get it back. And when I get it back, I have no interest on it. It's crazy. But we don't know the rules. And we on a mission. You know, it's just not me. I'm the one that's talking to you right now. But it's just, we have a whole movement that's educating middle income America because we're changing the face of the financial industry. We're informing everyone, and everybody is not going to pay attention. That's a historical fact. People don't listen. Sometimes, some people do. But I tell you what, there was a time, now I wasn't there, but it's a story that's pretty common. Guy was building an ark, and it was hot, and it was dry, and people thought the man was crazy. But he kept working. He kept building the ark, and he completed the ark. And the rains began to come. And even after the rain began to come, people still didn't believe until it started rising higher and higher and higher. And some still didn't believe until it got over their neck. And it was too late. And we're talking to hardworking Americans. And right now, the rain is falling. But it's not waist deep. You can do something about it. Don't wait until it get up to your neck. And when is it up to your neck? When you hit age 50, 60, then you'll realize there is something terribly wrong with all the years that you put in, working hard, looking forward to a retirement, and you can only do it for a short period of time because you don't have the type of money that you thought you would have in a plan to sustain you, to provide you with the lifestyle that you're used to, that you have become comfortable with. And we haven't even got into talking about inflation. We haven't even touched on that subject. Inflation. Oh my goodness. What is this doing to your dollar? Is there another slide I can talk about? Now, this guy, Larry Fink, the chairman and chief executive of BlackRock, right? BlackRock is one of the world's largest asset management companies. What did he say? What the U.S. was facing a retirement crisis. Why? Fink said that for most Americans, replacing defined benefit plan, that was the old pension plans, with contribution plan, that's what you do. Give it to an employee to take care of his own affairs. It has been a shift from financial certainty, the old pension plans, income for life, to financial uncertainty. He said it was time to abandon the you're on your own approach. And this is where millions of Americans are. They're on their own when it comes to these traditional retirement accounts. When I ask someone on a scale of 1 to 10, how knowledgeable are you about your future finances? And you tell me 2, something is terribly wrong. You should be telling me 10 plus. If we can give you a grade, you shouldn't have an F on your financial future. If you had an option to do something different, well, the option to do something different is what I'm talking to you all about now. Whether or not you're going to act on it, it's entirely up to you. But your rationale can never be hearing what I'm talking about and what so many others are telling the community about how money really works and how it should be working for you as hard as you work for it. Your reason can never be, I didn't know. We're going to remove that as an excuse, as a reason, as a barrier. We're removing that. You will know, because I'm not going to stop talking. And both sides of the conversation has gave me a platform to come here, and I'm going to try to make it at least once a month to share the good news. Is there another slide I can talk about? There it is. Putting a grip on your investment, because we're talking about variable and index. Variable subjects you to the stock market, and it's like going to the casino and putting your money on the roulette table. You don't know where it's going to stop. Don't tell me you know where it's going. You can guess at it, just like the stock market. Nobody knows what the stock market is going to do. Nobody knows what the stock market is going to do. There are some people that try to manipulate it who have a lot of money, who have stocks, in a lot of areas. They try to manipulate the stock market, but people just don't know what the stock market is going to do. But we know this. Hard-earned workers have been losing money in the stock market, and the money that they've been losing in the stock market has been hampering or crippling their ability to retire and stay retired. And what we educate families on is an index strategy that mirrors the market, but if the market ever goes below, it locks in place and you never lose. That's why we say getting a grip on your money. Guarantees that you never lose. We can guarantee a certain percentage of interest on your money, the rate of return, the index growth. It's a pension-like income. That means that for a lifetime, you're never going to run out of money. And for our preferred customers, we can potentially get you a bonus. I'm working with a person right now. The company is offering them a 30% bonus. They have $200,000. What's 30% of $200,000? We do the math. That's a bonus that's going into their account. Day one. So when you just think about this, putting a grip on your investments, it just makes sense. If you're working hard, if you're securing your family, as you say you're working hard to do, why wouldn't it be a thing called an index strategy that guarantees that everything you've been working hard for is never going to suffer a loss? It only makes sense. And I think millions of Americans haven't applied this common sense method because they didn't know. And why? Why didn't they know? Why doesn't millions of Americans already know about what I'm talking about? Well, it goes against the traditional institutions that are set up and designed to make money off of your money, to make money off of working people's money. The banks never want you to know that you can do what they do, that you can earn the kind of interest on money that they're earning, and the money that they're earning interest on is our money that we put into what they call a savings account at the bank. Now, that concept right there should be an insult to our intelligence. How do you put a savings account in an institution that's a loan institution? It's not even a savings institution. So how does that even go together? Well, they treat us like we don't have rational thinking. Well, they know that we don't because we don't have the information that will allow us rational thought when it comes to money. So we just go with the herd. Let's go with the flow. There has to be another slide here. There it is. The 3-in-1 solutions. We have problems and we have solutions. And this is the solution. Now, it's pretty small down there. I was hoping that this would have been larger on the screen. But what I put was all the tax codes, IRS codes, about everything I'm talking about. I didn't make it up. These tax codes were put there for wealthy people's use. See what it said? 1913 IRS code 77028. That's the one that allows access. But there are some other codes too. Did you know that if you put your money in the right vehicle, the money that you put in can be tax deduction? Isn't that crazy? The actual money that you put in, you can get a tax benefit from that money as your money is working and growing for you. Wealthy folks been knowing about this. You got access to your money because it's been protected, but you have an emergency. You don't have to spend money when you have an emergency. You can use your money from an account that you designed and set up for these particular reasons. We call it perks, where you have protection. In case of an emergency, you got easy access. You need $25,000 or more, depending on how you structure your plan. You got access to that money. This now is the reason why the question is, what is the vehicle that has the most tax favors, low maintenance, fully liquid savings account on the planet? Life insurance. This is it right here. That's what I'm talking about. Your own family bank. It's a strategy. It's a concept. And it comes with living benefits. And what does that mean? I mean, if you got sick or injured and couldn't go to work, you wouldn't have to end up in the welfare line. Because you set up a $2 million plan now that you got access to that type of money to pay your mortgage, to pay your cars, the things that you work for. It's not going to be lost because now you can't continue with the financing of it. Because, you know, we get loans on our cars. We get loans on our homes. Credit cards are just loans. They loan us the ability to use their money, and they charge us interest. They give us a loan to buy a car, and they charge us interest. They give us a loan to buy a home, and they charge us interest. We're showing families how you can do everything that they're doing. And the only way you're going to grasp this concept is that you got to release for a small amount of time your traditional thought way, the way that you've been thinking. You got to just release that wave and allow something else to come in and elevate you, put you on a different frequency where you can start seeing now that your money probably should be working for you. Your money probably should be serving you and your family. Your money probably should be available in case you have an emergency. You don't have to go and try to figure out how to get the resources financially to address that emergency. Because if you got the right plan set up, there is no such thing as a financial emergency. It's just reallocating funds from one place to the next as your money still is working for you. And it's designed for retirement. So when you get there, you got pension for life, but you want to send your kids off to college, but you don't want them getting in debt. You know, because student loan debts, man, they're what, $50,000 or $100,000, depends on the type of degree you're trying to get. You start off in debt. This is a savings opportunity for you to put your money in a place where it gets you high rates of interest, protection, never loss, and tax-free. This is the solution to the money problem. This is the solution to the money problem. And often people say, "Oh, I don't too much worry about money." And people that say that have 3 jobs. Don't you think something is terribly wrong if you have 3 jobs and still living from paycheck to paycheck? With what I shared, doesn't it seem sensible? And maybe your money is not working for you as you're working for it. So we're working to pay bills. And somebody else is encouraging us to keep on working so we can pay them. And when we can't go to work anymore because we're trading time for money, when we can't do that anymore, our whole financial world comes crumbling down. And we're not the only ones that suffer. Our entire family suffers as a result of my financial negligence. And I'm using that word negligence intentionally because from this day forward, no action taken with the information that was given is negligent. So we got one more slide, and that's me and my wife, and that's the barcode. So you can have access to me and my wife. We can share some information with you. We can take you to a different avenue where you want to be in your life financially to make sure that as hard as you're working, there's money that you work for that now is working for you. And even when you get off your job and have your supper, go to sleep, your money did not get off his job. It did not stop to have supper, and it did not go to sleep. Your money is continuing to work for you around the clock. Isn't that amazing? Well, it can be amazing for you as well. So listen, Mark, I think I have exhausted all my slides, but I still got some words if we want to have a conversation.
Well, absolutely, Brother Akbar. And first of all, thank you for an amazing and in-depth presentation. I know a lot of people are going to go back and be able to rewatch this to get some of the details and nuggets. One of the things that you touched on is there is a level of complication just in the language attached to financial literacy and understanding that we do need to be brought up to speed on and educated on. And I do kind of want to go back to kind of hit some of the highlights that you talked about, particularly with the IRS code 7702. But I do want to just kind of throw out a very hypothetical situation that I think a lot of people could relate to in understanding how life insurance traditionally has been looked at as something that is for when you die to benefit the people you leave behind. But looking at it as a living benefit financial tool or instrument, what type of IUL policy or what would that look like for somebody, let's just say, who's in their late 40s, early 50s, and hasn't had an opportunity to put anything away for retirement? What type of strategy or plan would you give them just in a generic sense?
A great question. Great question, Mark. You know, you just so full of excitement and energy and questions. Yeah, we call you Brother Thought Provoker. Right. So yeah, that's interesting you say it like that too, because the reality is, you know, when you think about everything associated with money and how it performs and how people should be getting the full benefit of their money, why aren't they? Well, people think that the wealth gap is about money, and it's not. The wealth gap is about knowledge. It's about the information. It's about those 3 rules of money that I've been talking about. Right. And so that's the reality. And insurance originally, it was designed to make sure nobody had to take care of those orphans and those widows when somebody passed. That's what life insurance was originally back in hundreds of years ago, right? Take care of orphans and widows. Somebody died, who gonna take care of these kids? Who gonna take care of that woman, right? So insurance was for that. But it evolved. It evolved, and as it was evolving, there was people, that was watching that from a distance and understanding that evolutionary process, and they knew now, okay, there has to be a separation. Now, I wasn't in on the planning thing, so I'm just hypothetical with you, right? But looking at how everything came about and how we've been left out of that information network. Some people was looking at how they can take advantage of, right? Did I know that there was a IRS code around since 1913 that allowed me to do certain things with my money under the umbrella of insurance that would allow me the protection, the access, the security in the future, where my money would grow and grow and grow. As I grow and grow and grow, my money would grow and grow and grow. I had no idea. And there's millions of Americans had no idea. And it's intentional that you don't know. So you can go to universities and get all the degrees that you care to. They're not going to teach you how to disrupt the institutions. They're going to teach you how to go and turn the apple cart over. And that's what would happen if everybody that's working on a job stopped using the bank for anything other than a convenience to pay bills and circulate their money. Right? To use credit cards. Credit cards can be a huge benefit if you use them, right, as a credit card, and then pay it off and don't pay the interest on it. And then they'll send you all sorts of airline trips. They'll send you they'll send you a lot of gifts. But you're not paying interest on those credit cards. And see, that's the difference, right? That's what you call good debt. Bad debt is what I was in for a lot of times, a lot of years, right? I had $1,100 a month that I was paying on credit cards, only on the interest. I didn't see it as a problem. I thought it was the way that we did business in America. To have 3 credit cards, I thought it was an honor. Everybody couldn't get 3 credit. They wouldn't give me that American Express at first, right? They kept on denying. I said, "Why? Well, it's just a credit." I got 2 other ones, right? I had one with Wells Fargo and I had one with United Credit Union, but I kept trying because they wouldn't allow me access, and then they did.
Right.
They gave me they started me off with $28,000 limit. I was like, whoa. Right. And so what did I do? I went on vacation. I wanted to make sure that the money they said I had access to, it wasn't a hoax. So I went to spend some money on the credit card, of course, right? Made sure it was real. But then I started paying interest and didn't understand the rules of money. I thought it was an honor to be able to walk into a place and throw out my credit card and didn't get declined. Right.
And I think that's the heart though of how a lot of us were deceived. Like a lot of this information was, like you said, intentionally hidden. And I think in the day and age that we're in now, a lot of people are starting to actually wake up and be mad because of the way that our own money has been siphoned away from us being able to sustain our lifestyle. I mean, we talk about taxes, we talk about inflation, we talk about the rising prices, the wages being suppressed, and everybody's feeling these economic squeeze, but nobody seems to, for the most part, understand how did we get ourselves in this position, because the middle class is all but evaporated, and we're talking about hardworking people that have contributed. They've paid their taxes. They've given to the 401ks. And back in 2008, when they got decimated, and a lot of people were trying to understand, well, wait a minute, where's all this money that I was supposed to be putting away because there's no safety net, there's no pension? How are we so unprotected now? And again, a lot of people in between our generation, I'll be 48 here in a couple of weeks. So I'm right on the cusp of starting to really seriously look at how prepared am I for quote unquote retirement age? And a lot of people are now figuring out they can't afford to retire and they don't know why. So how can we encourage the younger generation coming up of workers to not be in this situation, but what strategies and what tools are available for people who are later in life and still trying to figure out how to set themselves up? Is there hope for them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Mark. Oh boy. Yeah, you and something else, Mark. There's hope. But and this is the thing, man. There's some great questions. I appreciate you so much, brother. But the hope is there. You know, there's opportunity because people are still capable, right? And so those who still have their faculties, they have a chance. You know, that's not everybody's reality. And so also with these type of strategies, you gotta be approved for them. You gotta qualify. And sometimes, you know, we're gonna pay attention to the fact that our driving history is a major factor. Our lifestyle is a major factor. Our health condition is a major factor that determines, are you even eligible to access one of these type of plans that are designed to grow your money? You see? And so for somebody that's 48 years old, you can go at this with a zeal, right? And you can go with it with, you know, and this thing that you know, I say, you know, I talk to my wife about, you know, sacrifice has been sacrificed for instant gratification.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's rich right there. That
yeah.
means a lot. That's a deep statement.
And so, you know, it's like for somebody, you know, in your age group, what we have is a personal financial review, and we show you from this tool your spending habits and your saving habits, your income and your expenses. And you know what's interesting? In most cases, people expenses exceed their income, and it's not because they're not making money, right, to sustain their lifestyle. Their expenses include a whole lot of incidentals that don't make no damn sense. Oh, can I use that word on here? Damn. Hey, and so when we
You
show
you you
people,
you good, brother. You with family.
hey, listen, brother Mark, when we show people their spending habits and how your money now is being utilized by somebody else, and then show them an illustration of this money could have been doing this. Because when I was shown that $7 a day at Starbucks on the way to work, and then $15 for lunch at work, and then maybe getting, I don't know, sometimes I'd stop and get a coffee on the way home because I knew I was going to be in traffic. Another $4. So you think I'm spending 30 dollars a day on what? You know, I can take my coffee with me from home. I can take my lunch with me from home. See, when I got married, my wife helped me with that. But I added up what I was spending a day, $30 a day times, you know, what?
It's $150 a week on a
And
5-day week times 50. Like it adds up. You're
you do
spending
the
a
math
couple
on it, and then
$1,000 a year just on coffee and lunch.
yeah. And so when you look at it like that, and then we show them an illustration with a rate of interest that these particular carriers have been offering, and say this is what your money could have been doing. And if you wanted to buy coffee, you could have did that too, because now you got a plan where your money is working for you and it's increasing. And as inflation is going up, your money is outpacing inflation. So when they're talking about the gas prices, you know now that your money is outpacing all of those prices. And so I'm connected with a group of people that think like this, right? And if you ever make any reference to something was too expensive, the response is, no, it's not. You're just not making enough money,
Right?
right? Because some of us complain about airline tickets skyrocketing, but then we got a group of people that's on private jets.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so what's the difference? What do they know that I don't know? Some of those folks didn't inherit that money, you know. So Grant Cardone, he built his kingdom, right? And so he's wanted to play. Look at Eric Thomas. Right? He built his kingdom.
Yeah.
And so the reality is, what do they know that I don't know? So when I start associating with people of like mind, right, stuff rub off on me, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to make sure that everybody's aware of how their money can work. But when they get to age 40, it becomes a little bit more interesting, right? Because they got some life experience behind them. Years make much more sense. Just like me, I'm 69. I don't have time to play with 30 years. You see, the chances of me still being here 30 years from now, maybe, but based on mortality rate, it's pretty slim that I'm gonna make another 30 years.
Right.
But now I'm talking to people that's 30 years old, that's 40 years old, and I'm reminding them, how time is something that you can never recover.
Yeah.
And it seems like the older you get, the quicker it go by.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
It does.
I just had my 69th birthday. Now, right on the precipice, 70 is right there. Like, man, I still got some cake from 69.
Well, all right. So let's bring it back because I do want to review a couple of the highlights that you mentioned, and again in layman's terms for the community as they watch this. How does an IRS code 7702 create tax-free private pensions, and how are they different from the traditional 401k?
So that's a great question, Mark. You just keep coming with them. The traditional plans, they are designed to enrich Wall Street. On one of those, when I had the thing up with Forbes magazine and MSNBC, right, and it was also a clip on there about Ted Benner. Ted Benner was the one that came up with the 401k idea, right? And so at the time, it seemed like a good idea because taxes were 70%. So let's defer them. Let's defer these taxes till they go down. You see? And so they did go down, but now where are we now? And so it's not a good idea anymore.
Right.
And it was never designed as a retirement plan. It was designed as a supplemental income. But companies in Wall Street put another face on it because they saw a cash cow. Do you know they can charge us on interest on these retirement accounts? I mean, not on interest, but fees,
How much?
whatever they want. They don't even have to tell you. They got laws right now that they're trying to insist that the lobbyists for the 401k insist that they tell you about those hidden fees.
I mean, it's your money. Shouldn't you know how much of it they gonna charge you to handle it?
And that's what I made that reference earlier. Your name is on the account, but everybody else control it. So who does it really belong to? Everybody get their money, and you get what's left over. And Fidelity was managing my account, and in 2008, when I lost 30%, 38% of my account, they still got their fees.
Yeah, they gonna get their fees regardless whether you lose money or make money. They gonna get their fees anyway.
Yeah, and so now, this is 7702 came about when all these wealthy families was complaining about taxes. In the early 19th century, taxes was as high as 94%. That put a dent in your $1 million because 900,000 was going in taxes. Wealthy folks came up with these concepts, man. They took it to Congress. They said, you got to do something. We run this company. We run this country. We got all the money, and we're not going to allow you to take all our money in taxes. So you got to figure it out. And they figured out, they came up with this IRS code. Well, if you do it like this, you can avoid the taxes. And that's how it came about. Wealthy folks that was running the country. And so the Vanderbilts didn't take it too serious. The Rockefellers took it very serious. And the Rockefellers are still billionaires. and the Vanderbilts are struggling with money. You see, that's the difference in having your money working for you. Now, the Vanderbilts were wealthier than the Rockefellers at one time.
At one point,
you see, but their money wasn't. Even though they had all this money, it wasn't working for them. So they had generations coming in spending. They were buying yachts and what, or not yacht, but they were doing a whole lot of luxury stuff at the time, right? And they were spending money buying property in different countries. They were just having a lavish lifestyle. Right up until the fourth generation, then they started auctioning off these expensive paintings. They started auctioning off some of the properties, right? Because they started feeling the pinch of their money not working for them, and they had to do something. Well, on the other hand, Rockefeller, they called it the Rockefeller waterfall. Their money was flowing, and what they do every time a child is born, they give them a $3 million life insurance plan. Put it right inside that trust.
And so this is what I think I've heard of, where you can actually create your own family bank through these insurance policies if they're structured right.
Absolutely.
It's like this is the kind of information that you and your amazing wife can help people understand and begin to move towards setting themselves up with.
Absolutely. And the first place that we start with is a personal financial review. You have to be conscious of your spending habits and your saving habits. I was showing a gentleman, and a wonderful guy. He just didn't know. And so now, after we do the income and expense deal, after he paid all his bills, he was supposed to have a surplus every month of $3,600. So we go over to the other side, another feature with this particular tool. It has to do with your savings and your checking. Where's the money? How much you got in your savings? He told me probably about $1,400. And I said, well, what about in your checking account? He said, I think I got about $7,000. No, I don't. No, I spent some of that. He said, I got probably, let's just say $4,000, right? So I said, after everything that you spend, you're supposed to have every month $3,600. That's everything, because we did the income and expense ratio, and you, based on what you told me, is what I'm telling you. I said, based on what you told me, there is $3,600 every month left over, right? So I said times 12. I said it's $43,000. I said, and we'll give you the $7,000 in your checking account. Let's give that to you. And the $1,400 in your savings. Where's the rest of your money? You got $40,000 somewhere that somebody else is using because you're not aware of how your money is being used.
Yeah.
And so, needless to say, he was excited, right? He made some adjustments, put himself into the type of plan that's going to carry him into the future with no problems financially. But he didn't know that $43,000 was wasted. Hard-earned money that his family could have been benefiting from. Wasted. What are you doing with that money? Where's your money? You understand what I'm saying? Wait, what is going? We have been taught to spend money. Everything is designed
to make
us a consumer. To spend money. Spend it. Spend it. And we do. You see? And we can't wait to get our paycheck so we can transfer it to somebody else.
Most of us have already spent it before we get it.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, we could go on, because quite honestly, I could dig into this personally. But again, the information is on the screen. If people want to get in touch with you so they can start the process, go through the review, and help get set up, This brother again is an absolute gem to the community. He is a wealth of knowledge and full of wisdom. And let's be honest, when we sit down and have these conversations about money, it's very emotional for us as people. So don't be afraid to peel off the scab and be honest, because if you don't ever take that first step to find out where you're at, you'll never get where you want to be and need to be financially. And to have somebody like Brother Akbar who will guide you, it is an absolute opportunity that you need to take advantage of, community. So with that, Brother Akbar, I want to give you the opportunity before we let you go this evening. If there's any parting words, any shout outs, anybody that you want to acknowledge, this is the opportunity. Please give the people some words of wisdom before we let you go for this evening.
So thank you, Brother Mark. And yeah, I want to give a shout out to John Henry and you as well, and the whole crew. For have that concept, both sides of the conversation, right? It's been appealing to me for a while, right? And so I want to be on that, both sides of the conversation. I want to be on one side or the other, right? And now I know what side I want to be on. Yeah, but so the idea about it is, man, the community. I aspire now to put myself in a financial situation where I can contribute to nonprofits. That's what I want to do. And thinking like this, I never had the capacity really to think outside of my immediate family because I just didn't know how money worked. And the money that I had, they said charity starts at home. Well, that's where it stayed too, right? Because I didn't have a whole lot to take outside of the home, right? I had to make sure that everything here was, comfortable and convenient. But it's all different now. So there's a guy that introduced me to this business, right? And I didn't hear him when he was talking to me. So I understand thoroughly well, about, the 5 stages of change, pre-contemplation. That's where I was. I was in pre-contemplation. I didn't see anything wrong, right? Traditionally, I thought everything was like it was supposed to be. There was no problem that I saw right up until I had some additional information. And where I'm at right now, I want to give a shout out to the listening audience, for opening up just long enough to hear some different information that contradicts everything that we've been taught about money. And all the negative concepts and connotations that I had when I was coming up associated with money kind of repelled me from really having anything to do with money, but trying to hurry up and get rid of it, spend it. And so, I understand that whole dynamic about, that paradigm that's been, a part of my existence. And so I'm changing it. And everybody has the capability of doing that by understanding how it can be done. And right now, I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife, man, because she's the one that really brought me here, and woke me up to this reality. Because I come from what they call a checkered past, right? Well, you can call it a checkered past if you want to, but it was just a dark side. I didn't think I'd be
We
able to,
all got a testimony.
yeah, I didn't think I'd be able to get a license. But my wife, she had the confidence in me and told me it won't hurt you to try. Worst case scenario, you won't have a license. You don't have one now. I was like, well, that makes sense. So
Thank God for good women.
and based on my history, I had a lot of accommodations, with Dianne Feinstein, what was it, Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was governor. I had Mayor Mercarini. I got some stuff. I mean, the sheriff. I had accommodations from all sorts of areas, and I submitted all of that with my letter that I had to write out. And man, they told me, they gave me some compliments about how they thought I was worthy of having this license.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, man, I was about to pass this opportunity up. And so shortly after, I got exposed to some additional information about what had went wrong in my life that I didn't know was wrong because I hadn't been exposed to the wrong side. And, when I realized that, I knew I'm 64, I'm 69, but at that time I was 64, and I thought, I've been over here 24 years. and this is where I'm at. 10 years, I'll be 74. I need to sacrifice and step out on faith. And here I am, man. I run my own agency, sharing the good news. I'm feeling fulfilled in everything that I do. I feel like I'm younger than I look. And, life is good. And I can always make it better because I have been exposed, right, to that frequency that they call abundance, right? That frequency they call generosity. That frequency that connects me with everything that I've been looking for all my life. I was just on the wrong frequency. You see? And so what Les Brown say, come higher.
Yeah.
Right? And so, it's come higher. And so I'm making sure people got enough information where they can come higher. So the shout out is to the listening audience. I want to thank each and every one of you for, tuning in. And for those in the future who take a look at this audio, right? Thank you for taking time, opening up your mind and confronting the traditional information that you've been given. So thank you, Mark. Right. And so you're so insightful and provocative. Right. And so, I just appreciate you. Right. And at some point, we get together, we have a sit down conversation. Right. And, we can expose ourselves to some other avenues.
Well, I definitely look forward to that opportunity. And as always, you are more than welcome to grace this platform whenever you have the availability. We look forward to having you back again and again, Mr. Akbar. Thank you for your time this evening.
I love you, man. And I'm going to try to make it at least once a month, if that's okay.
That would be absolutely wonderful, brother. We would love to have you. And if your beautiful wife ever decides she wants to join as well, she's more than welcome as well.
Oh, but she gonna love to hear that. She thought it was just for me. I said, no, baby.
Well, you give her our love, our regards, and be blessed. Enjoy your evening. Thank you again, Mr. Akbar.
I appreciate you, brother. Peace and blessings. Tell John Henry I said thank you once again for allowing me this opportunity.
Absolutely, brother. Will do. You have a good evening.
Yes, sir.
Well, community, there you have it. Brother Akbar has blessed us with another Educational Thursday, talking about how you can prepare for retirement tax-free so that Uncle Sam and the rest of the fees don't steal all your hard-earned money. And again, we encourage you to please let us know what it is that you would like to hear from us, community. Again, we want to ask you to go fill out the survey. We want to hear from you. Let us know how we're doing, what topics you would like to see us include in our shows and in our programming. And you can go take the survey at the link that you see on the screen right now. And again, on behalf of John Henry, all of the staff here, both sides of the conversation, we want to say thank you for tuning in, and we hope that this information has encouraged you, has given you some new ideas and some ways that you can think more creatively outside of the box on how to master your money. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out for this evening. This is your host, Brother Mark Scott. Love you. Have a good evening.